How you doing, guys? This is Eric from Wasteland.com. Obviously, with all the stuff going on in Russia, I'm sure you've seen some videos, seen some news about how this is going to increase supply chain problems, increase availability of goods, and there are a few that are going to be more significant than others. Obviously, there's a cascading effect because if something in a category becomes harder to get, people will shift to any other alternatives, which will also make those harder to get. So don't think that just because you don't use one of these things directly, that it's not necessarily going to impact you, because the demand will increase for all these other things. People might become more nervous and just buy more of them, the other things in general, because they see other people running out of things that they need, etc. So it's going to be weird for everything. But there are a couple specific things related to the conflicts that are going on with Russia and Ukraine that are going to cause some supply issues for these items. One of them, first one, is the category of food, specifically wheat. Russia and Ukraine combined are, I'm sure you've heard this, they combined to make something like 20% of the world's wheat supply. So obviously Ukraine specifically might have some issues with their production in the coming season, being that they're under attack right now. And then Russia, also, a lot of countries, even if their productive capacity is fine, a lot of countries aren't going to be buying from them, or Russia may choose not to sell to them because of the sanctions and whatnot. I'm sure they're more than happy to just sell it all to China. China will probably buy whatever they can make at just slightly less prices, and it'll be a good deal for both of them. So wheat, that's a huge amount of food. Pretty much everything that modern Americans eat have wheat in it. The only thing that would probably be worse would be corn, because even though I really despise the way that corn is in everything, it is in everything, corn syrup specifically, but wheat would probably be second place. So any bread, all sorts of different foods, that, like something like a Pop-Tart even will have wheat in it probably. So look around. I bet you use it in more things than you probably think. And even if you don't, like me personally, I don't eat almost any bread. It's very rare. Don't eat a lot of products with wheat, but I do eat a lot of rice. And obviously, like I mentioned in the intro, that if people can't get their food with wheat in it, they're going to have to get something else. So even if they don't want to, the demand for everything else is going to go up too. So that could be an issue. And we're just seeing a lot of supply chain issues with pretty much everything, but wheat specifically, pasta, bread, whatever. That's going to be a thing that you need to stock up on if it hasn't already become unavailable. And just food in general you need to stock up on, because everything else will be impacted as a result of a huge portion of what people eat being unavailable. Second one is energy, fuels of pretty much all kinds. Obviously, Russia is a huge gas exporter. They're a huge natural gas exporter. That mostly applies to Europe. They don't really send the natural gas all the way over here. But like I said, a lot of the energy is pretty much fungible, in the sense that if people can't use something else, or can't use one type of energy, they're going to have to go to something else. So the prices of everything are going to go up. Obviously, we've seen gas prices already going through the roof, but even things like propane, I know some channels like Economic Ninja have talked specifically about the death fuel because of the resources that are used to make it. A lot of those come from Russia. And they do a lot of natural resource mining, agriculture, and that's going to affect the entire planet. So make sure you stock up on food specifically and fuel specifically. So if you can get solar capability of any kind, that'll help. And just, that's going to be harder to get to and more expensive, because more people are going to be trying to buy that when when the gas prices go up, when the electric prices go up at the meter, when their propane or natural gas goes up. Propane tanks, if you can get it. If you live somewhere where you have access to a large wooded area or property, that's fantastic. I would try to collect and prepare as much already down dead wood or trees that you don't need. Get it ready to go, because you don't want to have to just go out and chop down a fresh tree when you run out of fuel. You want to have that seasoned firewood ready to go if possible, already chopped up. And probably now is a good time of year to do it in terms of temperatures. It's before it gets too hot. So yeah, out here, solar is a great option. I really wish I had the money to do a full solar system, because I know that over the next 10 years, energy prices are going to go through the roof. But just wanted to make this quick video telling you guys to, as always, continue to get more food, but specifically wheat is something that's going to be an issue. And so stock up on anything that you use that uses that, or any alternatives now before other people go after that as well. And then fuel. Make sure your energy is in order. If you have gas cans, obviously stocking up on a few extra cans of gas is a great idea. 5, 10, 15 gallons isn't going to make an enormous difference, but it could help you bypass some major temporary shortages or insane price hikes. And look for alternatives. Bicycles, not fun, especially if the weather's warm or if it's rainy or whatever. But most people don't have to go all that far for a commute. Even something like 10 miles, it's only like an hour on a bike at a fairly leisurely pace. And especially if you have like decent road bike or something. And in a lot of really like city areas, you will be surprised at how much closer your bike commute time is to your actual car commute, just because of traffic lights and the fact that you spend so much time in the car actually just stopped at lights or moving up to speed, that your average speed is pretty low. So if you have a 30-minute commute, it might only be 40 minutes, 45 minutes on a bike. And if you have a 10-minute commute or something, it might only be 15 minutes on a bicycle. And parking then is also a better issue. You could save on all sorts of other costs related to that, not just the gas. So something to think about. Let's look for alternatives, but definitely food and energy is something to look out for.